welcome to Ducks and Crosses. This is Flosstube number 3. So I want to say a big hello and welcome back to any returning subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me again. And I'd like to say hello if you are new to my channel. I've had a few new subscribers recently. So I'd like to say hello, welcome. I hope you like what you see. My name is Bethany and as I said, my channel is called Ducks and Crosses. If you want to know where my name comes from, if you watch Flosstube number 2, I explain why I'm called Ducks and Crosses on that episode. So go back, watch that video if you really want to know. So, we'll crack straight on. I'm going to summarise my month of stitching for September. I cannot believe we're at the end of September already. It's just flown by. I've been really busy in terms of my stitching. I've stitched every single day in September. I have stitched on 9 projects. I've had 1 finish, 1 FFO for a project I'd finished in a previous month, and I had no new starts, but that will change. And I managed to complete 3 WIP Go goals because I'm trying to catch up on my WIP Go from when I put it on pause for a bit to focus on a focus piece. So yeah, I managed to get 3 WIP Go goals completed, which is good. So I'm on track to still having WIP Go finished for the end of the year if I do 3 WIP Go goals a month until December. So the reason why I've been busy with my stitching is mainly because of the football season has started, which means I've been doing a lot of stitching because the Yorkshire Stitcher started a group for the Stitchers Football Challenge. So you pick your team, you set your points out for different things, so like number of goals scored, your rules basically. So I've got 2 projects, one for Arsenal men, one for Arsenal women. The women's season started in September. So I've been to a few games, watched a few actually at the stadium, and been watching them on TV. I can't stitch while I watch them. Doesn't end well. It means the frog has to visit. But it has got me really good progress on my 2 projects actually, which is great. I took part in the Floss Friends online stitch and chat, which is a free online Zoom meeting, group of lovely ladies, spend a Friday evening stitching away, having a chat. And I've been on the most amazing holiday that I will tell you all about that at the end if you want to know about it, but if you don't then you can whiz off early, so I won't bore you with that now. And then tomorrow I start a new job. I'm moving pharmacy. I'm working in the dispensary in a pharmacy. So I'm starting a new pharmacy tomorrow. So that's very exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. It'll be a good and fresh start. So without further ado, I will show you my stitching. So my finish was Magic Mandala. That was by Little Loops. It was part of a Magic School box she did, might be 3 years ago now, 2 or 3 years ago, and I just had to get it because it was Harry Potter inspired and I love Harry Potter. So this is my finish. I did adapt it a little bit. There was meant to be a border around the outside. I didn't want to do the border. I liked it without. I think I technically showed you that upside down. I don't think it really matters because it is symmetrical. Yeah. So this was a WIP Go goal for me. I had to stitch on it 5 times, and within that 5 times of stitching on it, I managed to get it at a finish. I actually really enjoyed it. I've never stitched anything like this. It was a lot of like back stitch with only a little bit of cross stitching. It took a lot of counting, and on this fabric that was hand dyed by Sammy, it's actually a bit more blue than it is showing up. Was a bit tricky, but we got there. I'm really happy with that. Looking forward to finishing that. I probably will FFO it into a frame, I think. Put it up on my wall that I've got over there of cross stitch finishes. So that was my finish. Put that over there. My FFO. Oh, you're gonna have to go. There you go, hold it. There. I framed my lioness's chart that was a freebie from Caterpillar Cross Stitch that I adapted and added the trophies on the top instead of a rose. This was for the lionesses winning Euros back-to-back. So I've added the dates of the back-to-back wins that they had for the lionesses. This was just a box frame that was from Hobbycraft. I had a loyalty points voucher to use, so put it towards that. Yeah, quite happy with that. That will go up on the wall. So that was my FFO, that was my finish. So my WIPS. WIP number 1 that I worked on is TeaRex by Silver Creek Samplers. So that's what it will look like when it is finished. If I remember, I'll put a little picture up of where I was. I only stitched on this once, so there won't be much change. That is where I am up to. This is stitched on an 18 count Ada that I have hand dyed myself using Rip Dyes, and I am using CXC threads for this instead of the DMC. And the wonderful needle minder by Charley Feathers is a dragon. It's the closest thing I had to a dinosaur. I need a cup of tea one. I've got a cup of tea needle minder somewhere. It's on a project, I don't know where. Yeah, very happy with how that's going. It's a nice, it's quite an easy stitch actually. It's good fun. I'm going to put that there. I'm running out of space. This room is a bit jam-packed with clothes horses from my washing from my holiday, so I'm a bit cramped. WIP number 2 is Bluey. So this is my car stitching that I do. I'm stitching this for my niece. I haven't got a picture of what it will look like. I'll put a picture up of what it will look like when it's finished. But it is Bluey's family. So I've got Bluey and Mum is rolled up in here. I've got Bingo. This will be Dad. And then it is done. And my plan is to FFO this as a cushion for my niece Freya. She is Bluey obsessed. So it can sit on her bed, do what she wants with it once it's done. But yeah, I take this with me in the car, so if I get to work 20 minutes early, traffic depending, I get a bit of stitching done. I didn't get that much done in September because the schools went back, so there was more traffic, so I wasn't getting to work as early. But putting in a thread here and there, it will get finished eventually. Not too much left to do. WIP number 3. Let's see how well I can hold this. Historical samplers are year. So I stitched the September month. I am in a way now actually behind on this, unless I finish it off and stitch on it this afternoon. I've got to finish bringing down this little bit of border, put in another season down there, and then I've got little doodads to do. Apologies about my nails, they've all come off. So yeah, little doodads to do. So I need to try and get them done, or I'll quickly do that before I start October. That'll be, I guess, going down here. So yeah, my goal is to do each month within the month. So I have pretty much stuck to that. So there will be a finish by the end of the year. I started it on the 1st of January, so I am on track. So my next WIP that I worked on, got quite a lot of progress. It is one of my football challenge ones. I'll put a picture up here of what it was like at the beginning of the month. And this is where I am up to now. So if it doesn't look like there's much difference, it's because I filled in all the white. All in the cannon, all the way down here, in all the lettering. I'm just finishing the N. I've probably filled in a little bit of the red. but not too much of the red. So yeah, I've got to still do about 200 more stitches to catch up with the game that was last weekend because I was on holiday, hadn't taken it with me. So I've got to get that done before their next game, I think is midweek, Champions League game. So try and get that done. And then my other project that I've worked on is my second football challenge WIP, and it is Sampler Harry Potter by Lena Over. I'm stitching this on a 27 count Zweigart even weave in light taupe using CXC 500. I can show you a little bit. So I've finished this square. I'll put a picture up of what it will look like. And I've been working on the bit of the border at the top, putting this middle border in, bringing the line across for the stitches that have been required for Arsenal women's result. Got an amazing needle minder that was a pin. I got it when I got a program. Converted it into a needle minder for this project. So yeah, I've got to do 110 stitches on this, I think, to make up for their game that was last weekend. So I've got to get that done before this weekend's game. I do love stitching on this project. It's good fun. I think I forgot to tell you what. This one's stitched on a 28 count even weave, 2/1 full cross with DMC. This is Zweigart even, I think. And then the year samplers just with the kit, 16 count Ada and the DMC threads that came with the kit. Bluey, I've not done very well, have I? Bluey is stitched on a 16 count Ada that I hand dyed myself. I think we've caught up. Yeah, caught up. So the Arsenal project, back to this one. Let's hold it the right way around. So the Sampler Harry Potter one is for my Arsenal Women's Football Challenge. So I thought it needs to be in a football inspired project bag, because it wasn't. So I found an old Arsenal shirt from when I was 10. And I cut it up and made it into a project bag. So it was a Cesc Fabregas shirt. I couldn't get his name on the back, but I got the number, the badge, the Fly Emirates. They're now sponsored by Adidas, not Nike, and it's just got a plain blue lining with some grey binding and a red zip. I channeled my own Sewing Bee transformation challenge to do this. I'd never done anything like it before, didn't follow a pattern. I literally just cut the shirt up and sewed it together. I was quite happy with how it came out. By all means, it's not perfect whatsoever, but it's pretty cool. I like it. So the next WIP I worked on was for a WIP Go goal. I do apologise if you don't like to park threads on this. It's a full coverage one. It is Hogwarts Illuminated. I will put up a picture up here of what it will look like when it's finished. But this is where I am up to. So I got a good, probably about 2,000 stitches or so done on this. It might have even been more in the 5 days that I worked on it. So I pretty much had a page finished and that was about it. So I did all of this bit and going across into here in my 5 days. It moved it along by about 3%. So I've reached 10% complete now on this. This is stitched on a 28 count easy count Zweigart even weave, and I'm stitching it 2/1 tent stitch with the called for DMC. This is by Little Loops, and again it was from the Magic School box that I had from her. I think the needleminder is also by Sammy. The next one is Stitching Rules by Primrose Cottage. Sorry about the glare, I'm sure lots of you have seen this before. So I stitched on this during the Floss Friends online stitch and chat. If I remember, I'll put a picture up of where we were before. This is where I am now. The needle minder is a caterpillar cross stitch needle minder. So I started this with Sarah at the May Floss, I think it was May or April, Floss Friends retreat. We had a start along and we enabled well, not everybody, but a lot of people in the room decided they wanted to stitch it as well. So we've done an unofficial stitch along with the goal of getting this finished by the October, I think it's October, no, retreat in 2020, the Floss Friends one. 2020? What am I going on about? 2026. So it's like we had a year and a half to get it done. I think I'm still on holiday mode. My brain is not in gear. Literally got back yesterday. This is stitched on 32 count light ash grey Zweigart linen. I say that with a question mark. It's the called for fabric. Sarah got it for me, so that's why I don't really know. She got a piece and cut it in half. I didn't buy it, so I don't know for sure. I can tell you. Yeah, light ash grey. I am using the CXC threads for this that are the DMC alternative or conversion of the colour and cotton that they actually use in the model stitch. So that might be why some of the colours look a little bit different to what you might have seen. So in the, I put this up on Instagram and some people were asked if I'd changed the colours. I've only changed one, and that's the yellow. To what it was actually called for, but I think because they're CXC they are ever so slightly different. So I think like the pink that like the word stitching is in is actually a little bit different to what the DMC version is, but I love it. It's really good fun to stitch on. So in the online stitch and chat I basically got the white box done, filling in, and I'd done the word stitch the evening before, just so I could fill in the white during the stitch and chat, so I didn't have to concentrate and didn't have to frog anything. Yeah. That's that. And then my last WIP that I've worked on is my Disney project. So for those of you that haven't joined me before, I have a project that I started last year when I went on my honeymoon to Disney World. It has now become a Disney project, so I stitch on it when I go on a Disney holiday. So it went to Disneyland Paris with me, and it came with me on the Disney cruise that I've just been on. So it is Disney Mickey Mouse silhouette cushion cover that is from issue 1 of the Disney Cross Stitch magazine. So there will be 4 hearts in 4 different colours. So there's a red, a green, a yellow and a blue, with a silhouette of Mickey Mouse over the top, and it's he's standing in a different position on each one. So it's a really good travel project because it's only 5 colours, and at the moment for me it's only 2 because I'm on the red one. So yeah, I actually got quite a bit done in a way on my holiday. I didn't stitch for very long, like I didn't have any big blocks of stitching, but I put 1 or 2 threads in pretty much every evening of my holiday. Actually, no, it was every day of my holiday. So I've managed to fill in both of his hands and then kind of from about his neck down. I filled that in, finished off that red stripe, started a red stripe that will go at an angle here. And then so I've just got to put it into an 11-inch gooseneck now so I can see the whole thing, and finish off bringing his legs into, I think they're under here. Make sure it all lines up, otherwise I'm in trouble. But hopefully it will. So this is stitched on a 28 count Zweigart even weave, 2/1 full cross with the called for DMC. My plan is to finish them as a cushion cover, but if I only stitch on them when I go on a Disney holiday, it's going to take me a long time because there's a lot of stitching in them. And like, when it's done, it will hopefully be like that. And I think that'd be really nice to sit on my spare bed. But yeah, I'm going to have to stitch on it more than just when I go to Disney. Because unfortunately I can't afford to go to Disney every week. Have booked another cruise for next year. Yeah, we got back yesterday. I've already booked another one. I took this on the cruise in this amazing travel case by Canny Little Fox. She'd put this on her Instagram a few months ago and I saw it and I was like, I just need that for my holiday. Like the fact it's got the Disney Cruise Line logo on it, it's got the ships, it's got the Minnie and Mickey Mouse, got some of the food like the ice cream. I was like, it's literally perfect. So this is what my project came in. Loose thread on that. Inside it's just got a sparkly fabric with the green lining. Just keep my threads in it. Ones that I'm using at the moment. My needle minder did break when I was on my holiday. It was one that I'd converted a Disney pin into a needle minder and the glue came off of it. So my needles and stayed on that instead. I just need to re-glue it back to the pin. But yeah, just thought I'd quickly show you that because it was just such the perfect project case for my holiday. So that is all the stitching. So if that's all you're here for, thank you for joining me, and I will hopefully see you in a month's time, the end of October. I will summarise the Floss Friends Retreat in that video. If you're going to stick around, I've got a little bit of stitching haul, and then I will tell you all about my holiday, and I've got a couple of bits of holiday haul, but not very much. But they're not really they're not stitching related, but I'll show you them in case any of you are interested. Oh dear, don't all fall down. My pile of WIPS looks like it's about to fall down. Move that over there. Hopefully that won't all fall down. So, stitching haul. Let's start with that. The first bit of haul, I've only got a few bits, but the first bit of haul was I got some business cards made up with my logo on to turn them into floss drops. They're just plain on the back, so I could write down what colour DMC or what colour thread or what the thread is. These are just some of the hand-dyed ones I'd done myself that I'd already shown. But I was like, they're just so cute. So yeah, first bit of haul. Then my other bit of stitching haul is the Cotton and Twine subscription. I don't get the box, I just get the kit now. Since they offered the different types of subscriptions, I thought I'm definitely going to jump on that. I always see Sarah's, and some of them I really, really like. I won't stitch them all, so there might be some months that I skip it, but I really liked this pattern by Crochetto Go-Go. I'm hoping it means that there'll be a spring and a summer and a winter one that she brings out eventually, hopefully. Then can stitch all four, but them foxes were just so cute. So I've got the kit. I chose to have the Ada, so it's a 16 count Ada. That's the called, that's the called for fabric that's come with the kit, and then comes with all the threads sorted out onto card, and it comes with a needle as well. So it's perfect. So that will be one that is started very, very soon. That'll be one of my new starts soon. That's it. quite it for just stitching haul, but I did get some stitching haul from my holiday. So when you go on a Disney cruise or any Disney holiday, there is a thing called pixie dusting, and you just go round giving people like a little gift as such. So me and Morgan had some little magnets that we got from Etsy that were ducks, and they had Mickey ears and Minnie ears, and then it said fantasy because we was on the Disney fantasy. And they're magnets because all the doors on cruise ships are, well, I'm guessing all cruise ships, I don't know, I've only been on one, but all the Disney cruises, all the doors are magnetic. So people decorate their doors with all sorts of magnets, and some of them look really cool. So we went round and just put some of these magnets on the doors that we liked the look of. And I've got pixie dusted. There was a lady had put on the Facebook group beforehand that she was a cross stitcher. She's a cross stitch designer, and she'd designed a cross stitch chart for our cruise. She'd made a banner that she'd hung on her door, and if anybody wanted the chart, she'd just pixie dust it for us. So to put our stateroom number in the comments, and she would deliver it to our door, or we could go and pick one up from her door as we were walking around. So I put my stateroom in. So she delivered me the cross stitch chart. So this is the chart. It's a lady, her company is on Instagram. It's Thistle's Designs. So this is the chart that she had designed. So it's a nice banner. So it's got the ship, it's got the Disney Fantasy, and it's got our cruise that we did, the Western European cruise, and the year. I just saw it, I was like, that is so nice. So this is definitely going to be a new start. Hopefully I can get this stitched up before my cruise next year, and it can be on my door on my next cruise. And I could maybe play around with it and then rechart it so I can have this with my next cruise, which will be the Dream, and it's the Netherlands cruise that goes from Southampton in August. So I loved that, and inside that was a little badge that I'm going to convert to a needle minder. Try not to get too much glare, but the fact it's a duck, and obviously my channel name, it's got the cruise on it again, Western European cruise, Disney Fantasy. I was like, that would just be such a cute needle minder for that project. So I just need to take the back off. It's just like a badge. I'll stick a magnet on, and that will be my needle minder for that project. But I loved it. It was so nice. She's got some really nice designs. I was just looking on her Instagram beforehand. So it's Thistle's Designs on Instagram. So go and have a look. Go and have a follow. She's got some really, really nice charts on there. So the only other thing that's kind of stitching related is on the cruise they have loads of different activities, and one of the activities was make your own bag. So I said to Morgan, let's go along to it. He thought that meant there were going to be sewing machines out. And I was like, they're not going to have sewing machines out. It was only a half an hour long activity. So I was like, it's not going to be like physically sat there on a sewing machine making your own bag. I just assumed it was going to be like a tote bag that you'd then like colour in. And I was kind of right. It was a drawstring bag that you had to colour in. So I'd love to say I drew Donald Duck that well. I cannot draw. I used a stenciled around Donald Duck, then coloured him in and wrote Disney cross stitch on the top of the bag, and I carried my cross stitch around the ship in this for when I did my stitching. It was really good fun. Morgan did one with the genie. He likes Aladdin. I don't know what he'll use his bag for. He probably won't. But it was cool. Fun little activity to do. It was good fun. That was only one. When I said I can't draw, I'll put a picture up here. I did two animation classes on the cruise. One was Captain Hook. That one went really well. The person that ran that class was clearly very good and broke it down really easily. So I thought I'd have a go at drawing Yoda in an animation class. That went really wrong. I will put the picture up. You're allowed to laugh, because I did. My sister said it looks like E.T. with pointy ears. And I have to agree. So yeah, I'm definitely not an artist, so definitely can't take credit for drawing Donald Duck. So that is it for stitching haul. The only other holiday haul I've got is if anybody here collects loungefly bags or knows what loungefly bags are. I like to collect them. I think I've got 9 now because I got 2 on my holiday. I know, can't use all 9 bags at once. They're going to be hung up and on display basically. So this is number 1. It is the Disney Fantasy Loungefly bag. The Disney Fantasy ship has got Dumbo on the back of the ship. So that's why it's got Dumbo on it. It's got the cute little Mickey ears. I guess it should be Minnie ears because it's got the bow. This really lovely like gold detail on the ship. And then it's got the Disney Cruise Line logo on the back. And inside it's got lovely Disney lining. They're just such pretty bags. I got the Disney Western European pin. Again, I'm going to attempt to make this into a needle minder. I don't know how well it will go because it is kind of shiny and it's not completely smooth, so it might not work that well. But I'm going to give it a go because I don't collect pins as such, like some people collect Disney pins. They'll probably be like, oh my god, you can't snap the back off. But I will be. And then during our cruise, we stopped at 4 ports. We had Vigo, La Coruña, Bilbao in Spain, and then we stopped at La Rochelle in France. Now, when we stopped at La Rochelle, we didn't have an excursion booked. We just got off the ship, had a wander. We went to an aquarium that was really cool. And on the way back to the ship, we were walking through like these little street of shops, and there was a Harry Potter shop. So of course I had to go in. And then they had loungeflies in the Harry Potter shop. So I got myself this loungefly that I'd never seen before. It's a butterbeer barrel. Like, how amazing is that? With a butterbeer zip. Now the thing with loungeflies, most of the time they are useless as bags because you actually can't fit anything in them. I have an R2-D2 one that lights up. Again, I can get my purse in it and that is it. I can't even get a drinks bottle in it. I've got a chocolate frog one. I don't think I can even get my phone in it. But they just look really cool. This one can actually get a drinks bottle in it because it's really deep. And look at the lining fabric. It's so pretty. So yeah, that's my non-Disney purchase. I also got a loungefly purse. That's in my bag that I'm using right now. So I need to make room on my shelf to put this loungefly on and hang up my rucksack ones that I've got. I need Morgan to 3D print me some hooks to hang them up. So yeah, that is it for my haul. So my holiday. So we had a 7-night Disney cruise on the Disney Fantasy from Southampton to the ports that I just mentioned. I'd never been on a cruise before and I was a little bit, I wasn't nervous, I was very excited for the cruise, but I was a little bit apprehensive in case I was going to have like any motion sickness or seasickness because I don't travel that well in a car. But on the ship, absolutely fine. We went across the Bay of Biscay, which me and Morgan had never heard of. But when we got on the ship, and just before, when Morgan's dad goes, oh, you're going across the Bay of Biscay. That's really rough. And I was like, oh no, that's not good. And then we heard more and more about the Bay of Biscay and how that the Navy use it for training because it can be that rough. And it was like, oh no. But we were so lucky with the weather. We had glorious sunshine all week. The Bay of Biscay was fine, luckily. I think we caught a tail end the very last day we had at sea as we were exiting the Bay of Biscay. It got a little bit rough, so you could feel the ship moving, but I didn't feel seasick. It was all fine. And that calmed down quite quickly, I think, as soon as we kind of started to enter the English Channel. But apart from that, you forget you're on a ship. Like, it was like a 5-star floating hotel. The food was incredible. I will put some pictures up of some of the food that we had. So we had a rotational dining plan. So we ate in 3 different restaurants twice during the cruise. And me and Morgan had an adult-only dining experience that we paid extra for to go to a restaurant called Paolo's. That is an Italian-themed restaurant based off of northern France and in Venice. And the food, well, I've never had food like it. I'm pretty sure it is cooked by a Michelin star chef. I think. But if not, then I was blown away. We had a 4-course meal each. We chose from the set menu. So it was $50 each to do, but it was 100% worth it. The food was just out of this world. Like, I had a steak, and I've never had a steak like it in my life, and I'm always going to be comparing this steak to it now. But in our main dining rotations, there was days that we couldn't decide what we wanted because there was more than one thing we wanted. So we had more than one thing. There was one day Morgan had 2 starters, 2 mains and 2 desserts because he couldn't decide what he wanted, and ate most of it because why not? And it was just that good. It meant we could order things that we'd never had before. Got to try new things, like Morgan tried lobster. I tried a bit of his lobster. I wasn't keen on it, but I'm not that keen on fish food anyway. But yeah, because if you didn't like it, it was fine, because A, you'd ordered another dish, and B, if you hadn't, you could have just ordered another dish and they'd have brought it out for you. The staff and the crew on the ship were amazing. Everybody was so friendly. And the shows that were on the ship, we had 3 Broadway shows. We had Aladdin, we had Frozen, and then a Disney Cruise Line exclusive, which is Disney's Believe. They were on the ship. They were incredible. They're shortened down a bit, so they're only like an hour long. So we went to a show before our dinner because we had the later dining time. And they were great fun. Morgan really enjoyed them. Went in a bit like, no, I'm not too bothered about the shows, but he actually really enjoyed it in the end. We had a magician on board as well, who did a show. She was in America's Got Talent, and was a quick change artist. She was incredible. We were like, how do you do that? So yeah, if you're thinking of doing a cruise and you're thinking of doing a Disney cruise, I would 1000% recommend it. I know that they are expensive compared to other cruise lines, but you get what you pay for. We were speaking to a couple who've been cruising for ages. They said they've been cruising for like 17 years. And we said, oh, it's our first one. They went, oh, great, you've chosen the iPhone 17 Pro for your first cruise. We were like, okay, got it. That's great. So we're big Disney fans anyway, so to have all the activities like trivia, all be Disney themed, Disney tunes trivia where they played it live on a piano, it was incredible. We did Star Wars trivia. Morgan did Star Wars trivia while I sat with him, because if there was a question I knew the answer to, he obviously knew it. He's a massive Star Wars fan. He won the Star Wars trivia, he won the Star Wars Advanced trivia, and he won the Star Wars Superfan Challenge. So he won all 3 Star Wars trivia related activities on the ship. So he can call himself a Star Wars nerd. But no, it was great fun. We had a blast. So much so that we've booked another one the day after we got off the ship. And we can't wait already. I've got the countdown on my phone, ready to go. It's just to wait to August, but I will do that. So yeah, that's it. I will be back the end of October. I'm going to the Floss Friends retreat that's in Rotherham in the middle of October, so I'll give a little roundup of that, take some pictures or some little videos, tell you all about it, and keep you up to date with my stitching. In the meantime, I hope everybody has a great stitching month and achieves what they want to achieve, and if they don't, it's okay, it's a hobby. Just enjoy what you're doing. So happy stitching everybody, and I'll see you soon. Bye!